Welcome! In this video we will look at string handling commands within the PowerBasic Console Compiler. In this video we're going to cover string handling. What we have here is a skeleton program to demonstrate our strings. We're including the macros library just so we can actually put the console up on the screen and close the console down at the end. So what kind of strings can we actually have? We can have constants. This is a constant string, and the value of this is held in this constant, and this is used at compile time to substitute anywhere in the program where $constant appears and replace it with this piece of text. This is ideal if you're referring to something which isn't going to change during the duration of the program. Now we can also have global strings. Strings that are common to the entire program and may change during the duration of the program. These can be defined right at the top of your program and referenced within the code itself. Being a global string, every function and subroutine within the entire program can both access and update the string. In addition, we can have global strings which are Unicode strings. This is strings that can handle anything beyond straightforward ANSI characters. If you have no need for extended character sets, then you don't need to use the W string. However, some calls to Windows API routines will require using W strings. But from the point of view of the actual program execution, PowerBasic handles it just like it's any other type of string. In addition, we can also have fixed length strings. This indicates that this is a global string, but it is only 10 characters in length. If you attempt to put more than 10 characters into one of these fixed length strings, it will be truncated at the 10th character if you've set 10 as the maximum for the string. Additionally, if you're using a fixed length string, it's important to populate them with something before you actually try to access them. The reason being that when they were initially populated, they are populated with nulls. So there will be 10 null characters inside this string. However, you can do that quite easily just by assigning either a zero length string or putting a value into it. Anytime you output this string to the console, if we do that now, just to show where the string begins and ends, we'll put a dot at the end. If we run that now, it will go to the 10th character and then terminate. If we had it populated with less characters, then you will see it will be padded out with spaces for up to the 10th character. If you want to lose the spaces, one of the key commands to do that would be the trim dollar. Trim dollar's purpose is to trim off, by default, spaces. So if we run that now, you would see just the 4 characters losing the spaces. Trim dollar can trim off other characters. If we did that, it would print out quite happily. The trim dollar has an optional parameter where you can actually explicitly mention a single character, or you can give it a list of characters, and it will trim off from either end of the string any of these characters, in this case either the slash or the space. So in this one actually has trimmed slashes and spaces. So for some more string handling, we're going to use the len command to give us the length of a string. Now we've previously put in a str big string, so what we can do now is we can replace the code we've got already. Now because the len is going to return a number, we will format it so it turns it into a string, and this would tell us how big, in characters, str big string actually is. There we go, 49 characters. Another command we can use is the clip command. So we'll use the clip command to delete characters from a string. So for this we're going to set up a local variable called result. Now this would make result equal to big string. Now we want to take something off big string. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the clip command. And we need to tell the clip command whether we're taking something off the left, the right, or the middle of the string. So let's take it off the right hand side. Additionally, you need to say how many characters we're actually taking off. So let's take off the last 6 characters. And then we will print out the value of str result. So using this clip command, we're going to clip 6 characters off the end of the string. And there it is, 6 characters removed. Now if we wanted to remove it from the left hand side, we would substitute left. And it would chop the first 6 characters off. If we wanted to do it from somewhere in the middle of the string, we'd use the mid command, and we would need to tell it where to start. So if we started on the 10th character for 6 characters, and there we go, from the 10th character for 6 characters has been chopped out. These string handling commands are very powerful and can be used to manipulate your data. Now the next command we're going to look at is remove. This can be used to operate on our string again, and what we're looking to do is to remove specific characters from the string. So like previous ones, you can set it to remove a specific character, as in the $sign, and if we run this now, the $sign will be gone. And not only is it blanked out, it's removed physically from the string. If we wanted to remove a series of characters, we can use the any predicate, and any of these would be removed. Gone completely. Another command we can use is replace. We have at the moment this value in the big string. If we wanted to pick up the value, and then replace the $sign with an equal sign in the string. This would sweep through the string regardless of how big it was and replace any instance of a dollar with an equal sign, as so. This can be particularly useful to do things like replace carriage return line feeds. If we had a carriage return line feed in there, the command would simply be, which is the reserved for carriage return line feed. So you could replace it with a temporary character and then put it back later. Very powerful. Should the character not appear, the program won't error, it just won't do anything. as in so. If we have information at the beginning and the end of a string that we want to remove, there are a number of different ways of actually doing this. At the moment, if we take all of this out, at the moment if we print that, we will find that the string will print with the two markers at the beginning and the end of the string. Now, we want to lose these. Now, one mechanism for doing it would be to use the trim command. If we put the trim command in here and then run this, they would be gone. However, there are other ways of actually doing it. Unwrap. The unwrap command is fairly new and will remove the beginning and the end characters, which you can specify, so they can be effectively different. Now, this is an advantage, and it won't actually take away any of these inside the string, but it will remove it from the beginning and the end, as you can see. Again, you can use things like left trim if you wish to remove just the left hand character, or R trim if you want to move the right hand character. If, for example, we had quite a number of spaces between characters, one thing you can do is use the shrink command. When the shrink command runs, it will remove any extra spaces. It will leave all the words in there, but it will leave one character space between each word. So if you have a number of blanks you wish to remove, this is a very easy and fast way of actually doing it. Again, the opposite command to the unwrap is wrap. And again, you can put in a beginning and end, so we can use the reserved constants for double quotes. If we run this now, we will get quotes around it. Very useful. Another useful command to do is the str insert. This can be used to insert a new piece of text into an existing character. Now we want to insert the word test in here. Let's see this number of characters in. Let's say from the 15th character. We run that now. There it is, 15th character. Maybe 16th would have been better, but not too bad. So you can quite powerfully use that to insert a string into another string, and effectively it makes the original string bigger. You can also use str reverse. Quite easily run the string backwards. I can't think of any immediate use for this particular command, but I'm sure you'll think of one. If we want to use a slightly different approach, let's take this one. This will create 80 spaces in the str result. So if we run this now, it's basically going to give us a big blank line. However, what you can do, having got the 80 characters, you can then take a smaller string and center it. And if we run this now, the text on the first screen is effectively centered in the 100 character string. So quite handy if you're actually doing headers for the top of reports. Now they don't have to be spaces either end, you can also use the using command on the end to do this. It will take that character and repeat it as many times as necessary to center your shorter string into the length. This brings us on nicely to the parse commands. We've covered these in previous videos, but we'll cover them again here. The parse commands can be used to actually extract information or slice up your string. If we want to use the parse command to do this, we can use a delimiter, in this case the slash character, and if we do the element 1, it means it's going to give us everything before but not including the slash character. So if we run that now, it would contain just this part. If we did it as 2, it would give us everything after the first slash. We can also use things like parse count to figure out how many elements the string actually has. Now, since parse count returns a number, we will format that. And this quite correctly returns a 2 because there are basically 2 elements, the part before the first slash and the part after. If there was a second slash after that, it would return a 3 because there would effectively be 3 elements. Another useful command is the tally command, which is used to count the number of occurrences of specified characters or strings within a string. So if we wanted to know how many spaces there were in the big string 1, we can do this. Again, tally will return a number. So if we run this, it would tell us there are 11 spaces within the big string. So if we were wanting to find out how many spaces and how many slashes there were, we can use the any command like that, and this should return 12, as it does. Another useful command you can do is the verify command. The verify command is very often used to check to make sure that only a certain type of character is in a string. So if we create a new string, and in this str number string we will populate it with all the numbers. Now if we wish to test if something is actually numeric, we may want to add a decimal point, and we can then say to output now this returns a 1, basically to say that our big string contains characters other than the numeric ones we aimed at. If we were comparing it against another one, and str values was basically a number, then if we now do that, this should return a 0, which it does. So this is confirming that the content of str values matches every character we have in here. In other words, it is actually a number. Very handy for evaluating numeric strings. Now, another command we have previously covered is the ucase and lcase commands. If we do ucase, this will force every character inside that string to be uppercase, as it does. Lcase forces everything to lowercase, and the other one is mcase, which is mixed case, which will force the first character of each word to uppercase. Now, if you wish to search a string to see if a value is in the string or not, so if you're looking for a specific word, there are a number of ways of actually doing this. So we're using the inString command here to look inside the big string for the word big. It will return the character position in the string that it finds. So if it's greater than 0, then it must have found the word big. So it found the word big. If we ran it for something different, it would say it's not found. Again, quite useful. Another command we can use is the retain function. You can quite happily use this to retain only some characters. So it's pull back only the 1, 0 and 0. If we're saying we want to pull back, let's say, all the I characters in addition, it will pull back all the I characters. So the string manipulation features inside most versions of BASIC, and PowerBasic in particular, are very powerful. There are more esoteric commands we can actually use, but we'll leave them for a later video. Thank you for watching.